When we first found out that the Owl House was kind of being cancelled, the animation community lost it, and everyone was talking about it and really upset with Disney because it technically didn't fit in with Disney's brand, which is a bunch of baloney because there's a bunch of shows that Disney owns that I wouldn't say with some scenes don't fit into their brand. But anyways, getting off topic, Disney's The Owl House just released their second episode of season 3, and oh my god, is it amazing. I just had finished watching it and I have a lot to talk about it. It even surpasses the first episode of season 3, which is really insane. But I do think that Dana Terrence did a pretty good job of cramming the episodes that she wanted to have into just these 3-part specials. And you could tell through these episodes, you could tell what the team wanted to elaborate on and what they wanted to do and make more episodes on. But she's doing a pretty good job of getting the general narrative of the story she wanted to tell in these 3 episodes. And you could tell that they were given a much higher budget with these 3 episodes, especially with the first episode. You know exactly what scene I am talking about. They were given out all the stops on that episode, and that's what really blew up the whole thing. I still remember people playing that scene constantly and constantly at the end of episode 1. But now we're up to episode 2, and now we're going to talk about it because there is a lot to uncover. But before we start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So the episode starts right off as season 2 ends when King says goodbye to Luz, and basically it immediately starts. King goes up with the Collector, and the Collector literally starts destroying the entirety of the Boiling Isles, turning everybody into puppets. They literally killed Hooty. Kind of. They turned him into a puppet, but at that, also, Eda was still in the Owl Beast, and she lost her arm. This is the second time that I've seen a Disney character lose their arm. You know who I'm talking about. Grime. But with that, I honestly thought you were gonna get a fight between the Owl Beast and the Collector, which was kind of cut off. We didn't get to really see what that was like. I was a little disappointed by that, but maybe they're setting that up for episode 3. I think they're probably setting that up for that. But as a pretty clean title sequence right after their supposed fight, we get into Luz and the rest of the gang actually coming to the demon realm and her mother having to adjust with everything. And they give some very clear hints about what happened to Flapjack, to Hunter, which is just... You could tell he's going through some stuff, especially after the events of Flapjack literally dying, and that was just painful. No one was able to get over that. That was murder. That was just... I still think about that episode to that day and that specific scene. But, oh my god. But he is still dealing with trauma and grief after losing his palisman and one of his best friends. And we also see some stuff going on with Luz, and also confronting that eventually she does want to leave the Boiling Isles after this is all over. And her mother's actually encouraging her not to do that, leaving all her friends behind. But she still wants to go on with that. And as the episode progresses, we're slowly figuring out what Luz's palisman is going to be. She doesn't know what it's been. It's been leading up to this ever since the story has begun. And we've always wanted to know what this palisman is going to grow into. And we get to see that over the course of the episode. And oh my god. They were getting into some deep, dark stuff with Belos, okay? When we first met up with Belos, we meet Hunter's father, who was supposedly killed by Belos, and we see his ghost, and my god, that is terrifying. And there was another scene just like this, as Belos is walking through a bunch of Hunter skulls, basically, and there were so many ghosts of Belos killing people, and it's just like, they were really able to sneak this in. I mean, you're saying that Owl House doesn't fit with Disney's brand, but you're still letting this stuff in. But thank you for letting this go through. It really gives the emotion that animation is a medium. It's not just meant for children, and I'm happy animation is broadening out to that. And also, the animation budget, we'll get to another point in the video about that, was increased highly on this. And a lot of Belos's scenes were just perfect. From time to time, they were just terrifying. And not just that, we meet King and the Collector's pretty much dynamic. King is literally under the will of the Collector, changing the entire Boiling Isles to his will, basically, playing the game with King. And there were some characters that weren't actually turned to puppets. Some of them were able to get away with it. And he just seems happy, but also at times threatening the Collector at times. When you're disobeying him, you could tell that how much power he has over you. So you really don't want to mess with him. And that increases over the course of this episode. And we also figure out about basically Willow, which they give a very clear hint. If you ask someone when they're okay and they say they are okay in an animated series, they're not okay. And that escalated very fast. And also with that, Luz and the gang met up with most of the school students that they were originally with, and they actually all survived. They were not all puppets, and had this little resistance against the Collector and everything like that. The parallels between this show and Amphibia are just really cool. As the episodes go on, I'm just like, oh yeah, these shows are like really similar, but not at the same time. Don't think I think these shows are identical. But with that plot twist, they were evil. Some of them were, not all of them. And I forgot her name, but we're just gonna call her the little red demon that was working for Belos. Was actually that other little red demon that I was kind of picking up hints that, yeah, that was her the whole time. And we actually get to see what Luz's talisman actually looks like later down the line. But before that, we actually see Willow break down after we figure out that the school kids were still the school kids. Willow actually breaks down and literally starts taking over everything with her vine abilities, and it's like, whoa. When I first saw this scene, I was wondering what was gonna happen. I was like, okay, this could go in a lot of directions. I don't know where this is gonna go. And after that, they kind of resolved that, and now Hunter has new powers. He has teleportation powers. That came out of nowhere. But that's a thing now. A lot of things came out of nowhere in this episode. Not just that, we now get to the big part. Luz finally figures out what her talisman is going to be, and oh my god, the animation after this scene right here, chef's kiss. You could tell Disney gave them a bigger budget with that. And with that, her powers were not used to the max. You can tell they're saving it for episode 3, but you could tell that the powers that she has with this talisman are far stronger than everybody else's, and we're gonna see with that. And the talisman was a snake. After they defeat the little red demon, they go off into where the Collector and King are at, and basically it's a snake. That's not what I was expecting, honestly. I mean, I wasn't expecting... Actually, a dragon was something I was expecting, actually, at one point. But no, that was not the case. There was a bunch of ideas people had, but no, it was a snake, and the snake is very cute. And I'm excited to see where that goes in the next episode. You could tell this is going to be a very powerful talisman. And I'm excited if we really do get a fight with Luz against the Collector, which is most likely going to happen. And Belos, I didn't even get to this, Belos possesses a bunch of people in this episode. Jesus. And basically tries to get the Collector to figure out that, yeah, everyone's turning against you, including King, now that Luz is returned. And at the end of the episode, the Collector really does get pissed off at the fact that, yeah, Belos is telling you the truth. They're about to turn on you. He just does this little snap at the end, which is so ominous, because you don't know what type of hell is gonna break loose in this next episode. Now, we actually don't know when the new episode is gonna drop, Basically, from what we have on how long it took the second episode to come out, it's most likely going to release late April, early May, because that's when the Amphibia finale episodes usually dropped. So I do expect, wait till then, that's when we're going to get the final episode. It's really crazy that there's one more episode of the Owl House, and it's really, really sad that it's really gotten up to this point, but the show's been great, amazing so far. Even though we really could have had a full season 3, Dana Terrence is using it to the max, and with this episode, go watch it. It's actually on YouTube now, so you don't have to wait for it to replay on Disney Channel. You could go watch it right now. It is an amazing episode. The first episode is also up on YouTube, so if you need to catch up on that, go check that out too. I'm really excited to see what the finale for the Owl House is going to be. And they figured out a lot of things. They figured out that Willow was really stressed out. We figured out that Hunter was still dealing with grief about Flapjack. We finally found out who Luz's talisman was. And there was just so many things in this episode that, yes, could have been spread across a bunch of different episodes, but they were able to put it into one episode pretty fairly. And we just gotta wait for these next 3 months. These next 3 months of pain. Actually, it could be 3 or 4 months of pain before season 3 comes to a close. I can't believe this show is ending, and there's not really that many shows left on Disney Channel that have brought such a large audience like Amphibia and Owl House has. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Thank you guys so much for the support on these last videos. We just hit 3K subscribers. Let's go. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.